Go back to it. The partner is affected by what's going on for their partner, whether it's their wife or whoever. But they also feel uncomfortable because they don't know what to do.
Right.
And so they're getting the emotional anger off of their partner, but they're also feeling like, what am I supposed to do?
And they want to do more.
And they'd like to be able to help, at least the good ones would like to know how to help. So what advice can you offer?
It's probably a good question for a partner, and my husband now now that we're nicely on the other side of it, would probably have a different response to this than I do. And it is easier for me to say now that I am on the other side of it. Partners are often forgotten in some sense because it is someone else taking the injections and going through the procedures and having to deal with all of the side effects of the physical aspect of it. But they are also angry and they are also sad, and they have very much had to deal with the loss of natural fertility and making a baby the way they anticipated making one. And to your point, they want to do more. You don't know how they can help more, but you have to find that partnership within the two of you. And maybe talk about it beforehand, knowing there are going to be days where you have no clue what I'm going through, or you're going to really want to kick me out of the house, and the next day I could be madly in love with you again. But really find a connection for each other. And that partner, I think, also has to find support outside of your relationship. If they have a friend or a family member that can be their, venting machine, then they need to lean on that person.
Were you able to talk with anybody about what was going on for you?
Other than my partner, not so well. My best friend from childhood had to hear a lot of it, and she did a very good job. Again, I'm on the other side of it now, so she may have a different take on that and how I behaved sometimes. But she knew me really, really well, so she could understand when I was off the rails, and she wouldn't internalize it and take it as personal as somebody else might when I was really crazy or yelling at her. But outside of that, no. It's very hard to find someone that understands what you're going through, and I didn't want to burden other people with my emotions and make them uncomfortable.
Well, treatments affect every person differently. They also affect the same person differently between cycles. You've had 4 cycles. 3 were unsuccessful, 1 was successful. Can you share with us the emotions that you felt with each and how you may have addressed them through the cycles?
My first cycle was the hardest. My first failure was the hardest. And there could be a million different reasons for it, but I worked in a clinic, so I saw success every day. I saw people that I felt were worse off than me getting pregnant. And I also had this tremendous support from my physicians and my colleagues, and was really well taken care of. So it didn't occur to me that I was going to fail. I really thought that the first cycle would work and everything would be great. And so that one hit me hard. And that was probably the worst emotional response I had in terms of sadness and anger and having to pick myself up and start again. And then I sadly became very experienced at failing and got somewhat good at processing it and dealing with it, and at least hiding from other people how it felt. The success was tremendous relief and shock. 1, because I'd failed too many times, and 2, because I cheated and I took a home pregnancy test the day before my blood test. Don't do it. And it was negative, and then my blood test was positive. So I was completely floored. I didn't think that it was going to come back positive. And outside of hoping that it was going to continue to progress as a healthy pregnancy, I was tremendously relieved that it worked. After having so many failures, to hear that my body actually did it was in and of itself a celebration that I couldn't explain to everybody. My husband got it, but nobody else understood why that day, and I say this to patients all the time, celebrate that day. There is success that day, and then wait till the next steps to see what works. But hearing that you're pregnant, that's a good celebration to have. Your body did it, you did it, so.